watching Dante Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So we are only a couple of months away from the biggest fight since Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Now, first of all, just to make it clear, I'm not saying that this fight is going to be as big as Mayweather versus Pacquiao. It's obviously not going to do the same type of pay-per-view numbers because Mayweather versus Pacquiao was 10 years ago. And when you fast forward to present day, free streaming is far more advanced. Not to mention, most importantly, the fight is on Netflix. So technically, Terence Crawford, he's moving up 2 weight classes, but I would say he's really moving up 3 weight classes because he never really got acclimated to fighting at 154. He only had one fight against Madrimov. And Bud's handicaps in terms of moving up in weight and having a size advantage is what makes this an even 50-50 fight. But surprisingly, it seems like when it comes to the majority of professional boxers and experts weighing in on this fight, the majority believe that Terence Crawford, the David, is going to actually beat the Goliath. Just by a slight margin, but there are still a lot of professional boxers that believes the size advantage is going to be too much for Terence Crawford. Now, Julio Chavez Sr and trainer Abel Sanchez, they are some of the people that believes Canelo Alvarez will most likely stop Terence Crawford or at least completely dominate him. Julio Chavez Sr believes that Canelo will knock out Crawford within the 6th or 7th round. This is what he said to ES News. He said Canelo will knock him out in 6 or 7 rounds. Crawford is a good fighter, but there's weight classes for a reason. You know, it's funny because everyone's prediction is pretty much the same. It's either Crawford is going to beat him because he's just too skilled, or Crawford is going to lose because Canelo Alvarez has way too much of a natural size advantage. Which I have to say is what makes this such a tricky prediction. Because when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, or at least when it comes to Terence Crawford has never fought at 168. He's never fought at 160. So the truth is, it doesn't really matter how Crawford looks right now, how big his shoulders are, how big he looks in size. None of that means anything if you have never fought at 168. Gervonta Tank Davis, he used to walk around at 170 pounds. But we know that Gervonta can't fight at 175. He can't fight at 168. Gervonta doesn't even want to move back up to 140. By his own admission, Tank said he felt the size difference when he moved up to 140 and fought Mario Barrios, which is why he does not want to go back up to 140. A lot of people don't know this, but Roberto Duran, he used to walk around at 200 pounds. But he fought at welterweight, and before that, he fought at lightweight. So there's no doubt about it. It is true when they say there are weight classes for a reason, but that means it takes a very, very special fighter to win under those circumstances, having those type of size disadvantages. If you notice, the majority of people that are picking Canelo Alvarez to win this fight, they are picking him because of the size disparity. They're not picking him because of some type of skill that he has. That's the difference. But there is someone who believes that Canelo Alvarez, he has other advantages over Crawford other than his size. And that is boxing trainer Abel Sanchez.
Okay, well, first of all, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But so is Canelo. I think that, in my opinion, their IQ is similar, except Canelo doesn't get hit like Crawford gets hit.
Their IQ is similar, but Canelo doesn't get hit like Crawford? Did Abel not watch Canelo versus Kovalev, versus Amir Khan, versus Billy Joe Saunders? He was losing in all of those fights until he knocked them out. And I didn't even mention the fights that he actually officially lost in against Bivol and Floyd Mayweather. There is a reason why Canelo, he spars with the extra protective gear, the nose guard headgear, because he gets hit too much in sparring. Bivol doesn't use that headgear. Floyd never used it. Andre Ward, Javante Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Kermel Moulton, they don't use that headgear. That's the kind of headgear you use to prevent injuries because you get hit too much. You want to prevent an injury like breaking your nose while you're in training camp. Canelo, he gets hit with too many jabs. That's why he has to wear that extra protective headgear. Now, I'm not saying he has the worst defense. He has a better defense than Margarito, but to say he has a better defense than Crawford, that's a hell of a stretch.
In my opinion, Canelo's a bigger man. Not that he started out as a bigger man, but he's now a bigger man. He has been hit by not only Gennady, who's one of the biggest punchers that I've ever coached and I've ever seen, but he's also been hit by Bivol, by Kovalev, who's a big puncher. You know, he's been hit by big guys. Crawford had a hard time with a 154-pounder who hit him often. So I think that no matter how much weight he puts on, no matter how smart he thinks he is or how big he thinks he is, he's going to be getting hit by a truck. And he's not used to that. And I think that at the beginning, just like it was with Kell Brook and Gennady, at the beginning, the speed and the talent will show in the fight. I think Canelo will lose 3 or 4 rounds at the beginning. But then once he starts pounding on him, as it's been for the last 6, 7 fights of Canelo, after the 6th or 7th round, it's a sparring session for him. You know, he just throwing bombs away and not caring about what they do to him. But he's got excellent defense. Unfortunately, his feet don't move as well as I would like for him to move them, but his upper body is just unbelievable. He slips punches very well. He's got great hands. He parries very well, and he lands big shots. He may not land as many, but he lands big shots that hurt. So I think Canelo stops him, or wide decision at the end, and corner must think about Crawford's safety and health.
Now, when I first found out that Abel Sanchez was picking Canelo Alvarez to win this fight, the first fight I thought about was Golovkin versus Kell Brook. Abel Sanchez, who was Golovkin's trainer, I remember in that fight, Kell Brook, he was outboxing Golovkin, completely outboxing him. And I remember Abel Sanchez, he said to Golovkin, like maybe after the 4th or the 5th round, he said, man, you're much bigger than him. Don't try to box him. Just fight him, like slug him, make him uncomfortable. And Golovkin actually did that, and it worked. He went in there and he kind of just started brawling with Kell Brook, and Triple G, he ended up stopping Kell. But of course, Terence Crawford is a complete different animal. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe what Abel Sanchez said is nothing wrong with it, because this is a tricky type of fight to call. Once again, we don't know how Terence Crawford is going to react to fighting at 168. But at the same time, when he's trying to compare Canelo Alvarez to Madrimov, Canelo fights nothing like Madrimov. Madrimov is a technical boxer that uses angles, has great foot movement. That's what made the fight so competitive. Not only that, but Madrimov, he played it very safe. He was extremely reluctant to really let his hands go in that fight because he was so afraid of the counter. Canelo is the absolute opposite. He's going to be fighting on his front foot. He's going to be heavy on his front foot, and he's going to be standing right in front of Crawford. He's going to be coming forward, giving Crawford a lot more opportunities. But depending on how comfortable Crawford will be at that weight class, that's either going to work for him or against him. So I'm not going to be one of the people who's going to tell you guys that Terence Crawford, he's going to win this fight easy, because I really don't know. This is a really hard fight to call. I mean, I told you guys going into the Bivol versus Canelo fight, I told you guys Bivol, he's going to win that fight easy. I told you guys there was 2 fighters that I believe that would beat Canelo Alvarez in a decisive fashion. That was Bivol and that was Demetrius Andrade, when he was undefeated, obviously. Now, when it comes to Terence Crawford, if they were in the same weight class naturally, like if this fight took place at 147, if it took place at 154, or if Crawford was a natural 168-pounder, then I would tell you guys Crawford is going to win this fight easy. But once again, we don't really know, and I'm not going to really know how the fight is going to play out until we see at least the first couple of rounds to see how Crawford acclimates to the weight. But I'm definitely rooting for Terence Crawford. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, and this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Diki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.